that transition to West Berkshire. First of all, we'll have your first musical choice, which is Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton and Islands in the Stream. Why this song?
Right, Dolly Parton's my guilty pleasure. I'll confess now. I'll confess now on radio that I've been to Dollywood 3 times. It's this, she's got this theme park in the Smoky Mountain National Park.
And it's called Dollywood?
Dollywood.
This is the stuff of dreams,
I know
is
it
it?
is, I know.
What sort of rides are there?
Brilliant, you know, it's one of the most visited theme parks in America.
Really?
Yeah, like, you know, it's all a country theme, so roller coasters, you know, big wheels, everything really.
Is there lots of pink around?
Lots of pink, quite a bit of sort of gingham.
Yeah, I was going to say gingham.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good fun actually, and I drove from Dollywood to Hollywood, bringing, you know, celebrity with Dolly. It's great.
I just love it. Brilliant choice as well. Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton and Islands in the Stream on BBC Radio Berkshire. Travel You Trust update and that all-important weather forecast on the way. Now, Michael Butcher from Christmas Farm in Newbury is my guest for this hour. He has very recently swapped a high-flying career in the magazine industry for farming in West Berkshire. We're going to find out why very shortly, but we were just talking about your magazine career. What do you think has been the ultimate highlight in your time working in magazines?
God, it's difficult because I've met so many brilliant celebrities, but I think personal favourite was once when I met Beyonce.
Okay.
I actually met her in the flesh, and that was great. Had a good old chat with her, and I think even got a kiss on the cheek from her, which is immortalised in the photo on my fridge, on the wall, everywhere. Facebook.
I bet you've sent it to everybody, haven't you?
Anyone. I'll send it to you later. If you like. It's a shame I can't hold it up now here in the radio station, but yeah, very proud of that. And she was just a darling, an absolute. She's a megastar, but she was just really down to earth. Great, you know, really strong family network behind her. Her mum was brilliant and offered to make me a cup of tea. Just, you know, really, really nice.
So quite down to earth then?
Really down to earth, and just focused on her career and, you know, and just being a nice person as well.
And when you go and meet these celebrities, I mean, these megastars, like you say, what are the surroundings? Because I bet you don't just pitch up at their house, do you?
Well,
Are you in some glitzy hotel rooms?
You do sometimes.
Do you? Whose house have you been round to?
Recently, okay, this is hilarious, it's originally named Lulu, in Maida Vale. She just did this brilliant tour, called Here Come the Girls, and she was with, it was her, Chaka Khan and Anastasia, and we just pitched around there for tea in the afternoon, and suddenly Chaka Khan walked into the room, and then Anastasia, and you think, my God, you know, this is a soul legend walking in here, you know, chatting away.
So there you were, sitting around a coffee table with Anastasia, Chaka Khan and Lulu.
Lulu, yeah.
I bet she didn't have flying ducks on her wall or anything like that, did she?
It's a very, very nice house.
Did she have nets?
No.
No, I was trying to dig for some sort of dirt, but there's none surfacing. So why ditch this career then? Okay, because many people would give a body part, quite frankly, for that sort of career, to be mixing with those sorts of people, to excel in that particular field of journalism. What made you want to give it all up?
It happened kind of by accident, and sort of, you know, events took over really. We were looking for somewhere in the country to you know, we lived right in the centre of London, just near Oxford Circus, and had a really busy job going out all the time, and, you know, it was very hectic, so we were looking for somewhere in the country, and just found Christmas Farm, which is in Emborne outside Newbury, and it was way much more land than we wanted. You know, we wanted a big back garden, and we ended up with, you know, loads of acres and a working farm. Which is,
let's face it, that's a big difference.
It is a big difference, but you know, I think it's one of those things where when you see it, you just understand it. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's got a very nice feel to it. It's on one of the battlegrounds for the Battle of Newbury in the Civil War, and it should feel horrible, and it should, you know, hideous scenes of bloodshed, but it's actually really lovely and calm and just very, very beautiful.
But originally, I presume you were looking for a bolt hole, right? Somewhere that you could go to at weekends and then pop back into central London and do your job during the week.
Absolutely.
A working farm is not a bolt hole.
No, and it did, I don't know, we must have thought about it for a couple of days, but then actually we didn't. We just walked around the field, and I remember thinking on the way out, we're going to buy this place, and we did.
And at that stage, when you thought, I'm going to buy this, were you thinking, and we are going to keep it as a working farm, and we are going to run it, and we are going to turn this into a business? Or did that not really occur to you at that stage?
That didn't really occur. I mean, I think we wanted to get it sort of working in terms of, you know, having a few animals, being able to do a limited amount, but it ends up with me commuting into London every day, and then, you know, spending every weekend there, and just, you know, getting up at the crack. You know, I now get up at the time I used to get home sometimes, so after a night out. So
which is incredible, isn't it?
I know, it's shocking. My friends still don't believe it. And, you know, then it just, the place just kind of takes over, and I think then the animals, and you've got a responsibility to the animals, and, you know, we've got some very, very cute animals. We've got these Wiltshire horn sheep, which is really cute, some Dexter cows, which are, they're small miniature cows, which are very sweet, and you just, you owe them something. So, yeah, so we thought, right, we'll do this. And my mother sadly got Alzheimer's, so to spend more time with her and to be able to devote more time to her, I thought, you know, I'd better cut down the busy job and do the second job, which is the farming. So
before you quit your job in magazines, your partner Phil was running the farm.
Yes, yeah.
So it's a working farm. It also has a farm shop selling the produce.
Yes,
that
yeah,
you
we
create.
just opened that. Yeah.
So when you decided to buy it and you moved in and Phil started working there, I mean, presumably you knew nothing. You didn't know the first thing about animals, did you?
I knew a bit about haymaking because I used to help my aunt's farm when I was a kid, but that was it. But the internet is marvellous. You know, you could write a book about farming by internet, I think. And then we've also got brilliant neighbours like Dawn and Martin, who... Dawn's a veterinary nurse, so there's nothing she doesn't know about animals, and, you know, Martin's really great with, you know, giving advice on you know, machinery and things. And so just a local network. You know, another guy, Nathan, whose parents used to own the farm, he owns Morrison Landscapes, which is a fencing and contracting business. So suddenly he was giving us all advice on, you know, what we need to do to make it secure for the animals. And so just all these local people have been brilliant. And that's, you know, that's a massive change as well. In London, we never knew our neighbours. Or you knew them, you might say hello twice a year, but now it's just, you know, it's a real network, and I think that's the great thing about living in the country.
And also, you grew up in Basingstoke.
Yeah,
so
just outside Basingstoke. Do
you think that you were always destined to come back to this sort of neck of the woods?
Not really, no. I mean, I'd never been aware of how beautiful West Berkshire is. I mean, it's stunning, you know, and I'm not saying that Basingstoke isn't, because it is.
Be very careful.
I know. Hello, viewers, listeners. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's